Adriana Sa, and I do work with, I do combine software with acoustic and analog technologies since about the 90s, and today I'm going to talk about the latest version of my instrument, which I have been developing for 5 years, and how it made me think of an understanding of musical expression, which might be coming to many other developers and musicians. So the instrument combines a zither, which is that instrument, a concert zither, and 3D software, which operates based on the zither input. And this 3D software makes for sonic and visual parameters to change according to that input. So we listen to both the acoustic and the digital signal. You will see me performing later on. So this is basically how it works. The zither has many H strings, a personal tuning system, and I use non-traditional techniques to play it. Marmalade and FFT program make pitch analysis, and amplitude detection is easy. I will speak about this a little bit further on. The pitch analysis process is far more complex. So this sends it to the 3D engine and changes all those visual parameters, controls all those visual parameters. And audio-wise, and this is, I will elaborate a bit on this, on the audio processing thing. It analyzes the input, it calculates the closest tone and half tone, and it plays back a sample, an audio sample, pre-recorded, usually from the zither, but also from sounds of nature. And it plays that sample twice. The second time, the sample is pitched down by a value equivalent to the difference between the detected pitch and the closest tone, half tone. So this, of course, creates a kind of chromatic shifts. So the audio samples are stored in 3 banks with 12 samples each, one for each tone, half tone. And in performance, the digital interfaces are the audio analysis, which creates an element of unpredictability, and the switches for bank activation, deactivation. I will elaborate on this a little bit later on. So the instrument explores 3 creative principles. The first respects to the sound and in the interaction, which thresholds my control over the instrument and the instrument unpredictability. So this creates complex sonic patterns, which I'm interested people to experience totally. The image could interfere with the sound if there wasn't for the principle of, which I called the principle of visual continuity. So the image exhibits no disruptive changes so that it does not attract automatic attention, and it all the visual dynamics apply Gestaltist principles, which convey cognitive simplification. So the image is projected big over myself, and it creates a reactive stage scene that does not distract attention from the subtle variations of the music itself. The audiovisual relationship is meant to create a sense of causation, but people should not understand the cause and effect relationships. So it includes synchronized components, non-related components, and there is enough complexity to confound the cause and effect relationships. So the digital configurations do assure visual continuity and what I'm calling audiovisual fungibility, this audio-visual relationship, so that in performance I fully focus on the music. I don't even look at the screen. So back to the principle of sonic complexity, because this is what I want to derive my contribution for discussions in this workshop, because it's directly related with interaction. It's funny. There is a word missing there, which is unpredictability. So, elements of control is the zither acoustic sound is always audible. Sample bank activation and deactivation, right? I have 3 sample banks. Each of the samples gather 12 samples, and they combine well in each form. Like one, they can overlap, of course, and they combine in a way that I like. There's a high detection threshold, which I configure before performance according to this space. So the digital sound is always preceded by sound from the zither that is loud enough to trigger the digital sound. And there's also digital constraint implemented that when a sample is playing back and the zither activates the same sample, it won't play back before that one sample is finished. So unpredictable elements. So sometimes the input has no particular tonality. My techniques are like that. I'm unsure which sample will be activated, and a single string often activates several samples because several are detected at the same time or in very small time frames. When I'm playing the zither, I'm unsure where the detection threshold is. Sometimes it will detect, others not. No, I only know that strong will and not strong will not. But I can't really predict the detuning value, which is equal to the difference between the detected pitch and the closest tone and half tone. So. The combining acoustic and digital elements, and particularly in this last project, which uses a 3D engine, which is usually employed for video gaming, made me think of how interaction designs address perception in general. And very important literature for me was something Joel, who's sitting back there, wrote back in '91 and published by STEIM, which respects to effort. So going back a little bit to the perceptual process very quickly. At any time we are bombarded with a huge amount of stimuli which have to compete to reach cautious awareness, right? Usually when we perceive in a pragmatic way, what I call a pragmatic way, we focus on a purpose, meaning or cause. That makes us simplify the information, the sensory information according to presuppositions, like the Gestaltist principles. This is basically due to the limited capacity of short-term memory. Short-term memory is the place which handles the information in cautious awareness, and the primary aim of the brain, which is to detect, perceive, and respond rapidly to the world, right? But at the same time, we can, when we focus on perception itself, we can also permeate much more complexity, right? So interfaces can be designed to convey one or the other mode of perception. For example, with a word processor or video games often, you want the interface to become transparent so that we can focus on the purpose, right? So effortless interfaces convey control and embodiment. We feel the interface is an extension of the body, and that makes the interface become transparent. And this sense of immediacy, where you are writing the text, you are focused on the text instead of the interface, conveys the focus on purpose. With many musical instruments, those where there are thresholds between control and unpredictability, yes, you need the interface to convey embodiment, but in my opinion, also material separation, which makes one dual with the instrument. And this creates a certain tension and awakening of unused abilities. It's almost like the instrument is another object. It's not you anymore. So this means sense of immediacy plus mediation. This can convey a focus on perception itself. So, and this is a little bit what I want to bring to the pool of discussion here. So we can parameterize interaction with musical devices in terms of real-time effort, right? Where little effort means linear and clearly perceivable interaction, predictable, or the music does not depend much on interaction anyway. High effort, the interaction does not feel immediate at all, and or it demands a lot of effort, or undesired outcomes are not ruled out, and or. And my understanding of my sensibility for music making requires medium effort. So the instrument does require skills, a certain amount of effort, but there is a sense of immediacy and or the digital constraints rule out undesired outcomes. So there is a medium effort. That's it, basically.
Thank you.